Your marketing budget is burning through cash, but your phone isn't ringing with quality leads. If this sounds familiar, here's the part no one tells you. The rules have changed. Websites that worked 18 months ago are quietly losing leads every single day. Not because services got worse, but because the way people find and choose companies has completely changed. And most businesses aren't even aware it's happening. If your website isn't structured for this shift, you're not even in the conversation. That's why so many businesses feel stuck. In the next 27 minutes, I'll show you the 6 fixes we identified across 25 website audits. And here's what I want you to know up front. These are not complicated fixes. They're simple adjustments that most of your competitors have simply gotten too lazy to make. That laziness? It's your opportunity. And pay close attention to the last one. It's the unfair advantage that allows even small companies to get recommended by AI nonstop while the big players disappear from search results entirely. You can't afford to miss that last one, so stick with me. I promise it'll be worth the wait. I'm Jimmy Gibson, Vice President of Brand Communication at Thrive Internet Marketing Agency. At the start of 2026, my team and I did something slightly insane. We went under the hood of 25 leading home service businesses and audited every single pixel of their digital presence. Now, we're not talking quick website reviews. We're talking full forensic audits, traffic analysis, conversion path mapping, content evaluation, the whole 9 yards. And here's what we discovered. Across services, average bounce rates hovered around 41 to 55%. That means nearly half of the people who landed on these sites left before they even understood what the company actually did. 41 to 55%. That's a big percentage of people who aren't saying no, they're saying, I don't get it, and they're gone. And what shocked us is these losses weren't coming from complicated SEO issues. They were coming from 6 simple but expensive mistakes hiding in plain sight. Let's break down the 6 mistakes that are costing these companies millions in lost leads every single year and unpack exactly how to fix them before they cost you more dollars. How do I know this works? Well, because these are the same principles we use every day at Thrive to generate thousands of qualified leads for our clients. Now, none of these fixes requires a full website overhaul or massive budget, but they do require you to be honest with yourself about what's not working and actually do something about it. The question is, are you willing to put the focused effort in that your competitors have been putting off? So here's what we're going to be covering today. First, the homepage messaging that tries to say everything and ends up saying nothing, and why it's killing you in 3 seconds. Second, zero proof above the fold, or proof that's way too vague. The trust gap your website is creating. Third, pages built like brochures instead of conversion paths. Why beautiful simply doesn't convert. Fourth, lead capture that asks for too much, too soon. It's the form that bleeds leads. Fifth, content that's built for Google, not customers or AI. Why your blog ranks but doesn't influence your audience. And 6, this is the one I'm most excited about, having no strategy for being found in AI answers. Here's how you get cited in AI and create an unfair advantage for your business. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot these issues on your own website in minutes, and more importantly, you'll know exactly what to do to fix it first. Mistake number 1. Homepage messaging that tries to say everything and ends up saying nothing. Let's start with the most common and most expensive mistake businesses make. And fair warning, this one's going to sting a little. There are 3 problems buried in this single mistake, and the third one is the one that hurts businesses the most. I guarantee that if you go to your homepage right now, you're probably making this exact mistake. Problem 1, hero headlines packed with buzzwords. Your homepage is trying to say everything, and because of that, it's actually saying nothing. Here's what we saw over and over again. You land on the homepage, and the hero headline says something like, "Your trusted partner for comprehensive home services solutions." Sounds professional and safe. Except, here's what it doesn't tell you. Do you do residential or commercial? Is this an emergency service or planned maintenance? Do you serve my area? What makes you different from the other 10 HVAC companies I'm comparing you to? Let's try to improve that. Instead of the generic, your trusted partner for comprehensive home services solutions, let's do a little rewrite. How does this sound? 24/7 emergency HVAC repair in Dallas. Fixed right the first time. Already, the new headline tells me exactly what you do, exactly who the service is for, and where you operate. Your homepage has about 3 seconds to answer these questions in your visitors' heads. If your content doesn't answer those immediately, they're gone. And it doesn't matter how good your services are, they'll never find you. This is where most businesses are benched before the game even starts. Most headlines are packed with buzzwords like industry leading, full service, trusted partner, or innovative solutions. And here's the problem. Every single one of your competitors is saying the exact same thing. Those words don't create confidence, they actually agitate your end user because the visitor has to work to translate what you're talking about. And the moment someone has to think, they bounce. So how do we fix this? It's simple. We stop trying to sound impressive and start creating clarity on your messaging using what I call the triple threat hero. Every homepage hero needs to answer these 3 questions immediately. First, who is it for? Next, what's the problem you solve? And finally, why should I choose you instead of the other options on my screen? That's it. Not your full service list, not your company history or your mission statement. Now, here's a twist. A strong headline earns attention, but what you present immediately afterwards determines whether visitors stay on the page, and this is where most sites stall out. Problem 2, the value proposition is company-centric, not customer-centric. We saw this everywhere. The value proposition is written from the company's point of view, not the customer's. Things like, we've been in business for 20 years, or we pride ourselves on quality workmanship. None of those answers the question the visitor is actually asking, which is this the right solution for my problem right now? Keep in mind that experience and services only matter if they prove exactly how they addressed your prospect's problems. Which leads me to the third problem that's probably hurting your business the most. Problem 3. CTAs or calls to action like learn more instead of intent-based action. Weak calls to action or CTAs because this is where a lot of businesses quietly kill their lead flow. If your primary call to action says learn more, you're asking the visitor to do the work for you. Compare that to get a free system audit or book a 15-minute repair assessment. Those are intent-based CTAs that match why the visitor came to the site in the first place. And this is exactly why homepage clarity is such a powerful lead generation lever. If your homepage gets this wrong, it doesn't matter how much traffic you drive. You're pouring water into a bucket with holes. So here's a little homework for you. Go to your homepage and read your hero headline out loud. Then ask yourself, would somebody who's never heard of my company know exactly what to do and who I help? If the answer is no, you've got a little work to do. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Because even when businesses fix their messaging, they usually make this next mistake. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with design. Mistake number 2, zero proof above the fold or proof that's way too vague. The majority of every website we audited has zero proof above the fold, or the proof showcased is way too vague. The above the fold is the part of your website a visitor sees immediately on their screen, whether on desktop or mobile, when they land on your page. And a vague or weak above the fold is a big problem because once prospects understand what you do, their next question is, can I trust these people? Here's what we found. Number 1, trust signals like testimonials, case studies, and reviews are either buried at the bottom of the page or placed on a separate page that almost nobody ever visits. And here's the hard truth that most business owners hate to hear. Your website visitors are inherently lazy, or anxious, or busy, or risk-averse. If they have to scroll 3 times just to find a single 5-star review, they've already mentally checked out. A simple rule of thumb is to never let page visitors work to trust you. Your trust signals need to be seen, not found. That means putting them above the fold, where people actually notice them before they decide whether to stay or leave. Number 2, case studies and testimonials often say the same thing. Great team to work with, very professional, would recommend. Those aren't really bad testimonials. But here's the problem. Nobody's sitting there thinking, you know what would help me choose a plumber? Knowing that they're a professional. Really, that's the minimum that's expected. What they actually want to know is, has the company solved my exact problem before? What did it cost? How long did it take? A good testimonial shows real transformation, puts the customer in the story and lets them think, that sounds exactly like my situation. Here's another example. An electrical contractor has a case study titled Commercial Office Renovation. You click on it and it says, we helped a local business upgrade its electrical systems. The client was very happy with our work. Okay, but what changed? What actually improved? The case study tells you nothing. No metrics, no before after, no story. And that's the real issue. Customers aren't looking for reassurance, they're seeking evidence that their problem gets solved. Instead of a vague title like Commercial Office Renovation, lead with the customer outcome. Say something like, how we upgraded a 40,000 square foot office building without downtime and helped the client pass inspection on the first attempt. Already that tells me who this is for and why I should care. But don't just stop at the heading. Once you have their attention, layer in proof that prospects are already asking in their heads, such as specific metrics that show impact context around the challenge so the customers understand the risk you handled. A clear before and after that shows what actually changed, or a simple checklist of what was completed to make the result feel repeatable. Once trust is established, people are willing to scroll. Which leads us to the next issue. And I know we've already covered a lot. You probably need to save this video so you can come back to it and review it with your team, but we need to keep going because this next mistake is where good traffic goes to die. Mistake number 3. Pages built like brochures, not conversion paths. Most pages don't fail because of design, they fail because they don't guide a decision. A lot of the websites we audited were beautiful. The design was clean, the copy was solid, but they felt like brochures with absolutely no conversion logic. We see this everywhere. The page jumps from, here's what we do, to here's our history, to, hey, here's a testimonial. There's no narrative, no progression from awareness to consideration to decision. In the end, the page never answers the silent question the visitor is asking. What am I supposed to do next? And what should I do now? Then there's the CTA, or call to action problem. Either there are too many calls to action or none that actually matter. You'll see 5 different buttons on the same page. Call us, get a quote, schedule a consultation, download our guide, and join our email list. What am I supposed to do? Every one of those asks for a different level of commitment, and when everything is competing for attention, the visitor does the safest thing, choose nothing. And here's the part that most businesses completely miss: objection handling. Most pages make their pitch, show a little proof, and then jump straight to contact us. But they never address the questions already running through the customer's head. How much is this going to cost? How long will it take? Are you licensed and insured? You absolutely must get inside your customer's head. They came to your page because they want something or need a problem solved. They are stressed. They're comparing you to 3 other companies. They're not going to ask these questions out loud, but if those questions aren't answered on the page, the visitor leaves to answer them somewhere else. And once they leave, you've lost control of the decision and there's no guarantee that they're coming back. Let me tell you a secret. Conversion isn't about tricks, it's about decision clarity. Your job is to help someone move from, I have this problem, to, I know what to do next, as smoothly as possible. So, we rework every page using a simple conversion hierarchy. First, a clear value proposition. What do you do and why should the visitor care right now? Second, who's it for and who's it not? Qualify the visitor early so the right people lean in and the wrong ones self-select out. Third, proof. Show that you've solved this problem before and that it worked. Fourth, objection handling. Answer the question they're hesitant to ask but are absolutely thinking about. You can include a simple FAQ or a what to expect section. And finally, one clear call to action, a single specific next step that matches where they are in the decision process. Because when you move friction and confusion, people convert. It's that simple. A brochure describes, a conversion path guides. You're not asking them to figure it out, you're walking them through the decision until the only logical next move is to take the desired action. But here's where it gets tricky. Even with great structure, if your lead capture asks for too much too soon, you're going to lose people at the starting line. And that's exactly what we're going to address next. Why can't you just ask them to do something that takes them out of their comfort zone? Mistake number 4, lead capture that asks for too much too soon. So you've done the hard part. You've earned the click and the visitor is interested. However, when they scroll to your form, you immediately ask for their life story. This is where businesses lose deals before they even have the chance to talk to them. And it usually happens in 2 very predictable ways. Let me explain. First up, long forms. Imagine opening a page and getting hit with a literal wall of text. Name, email, phone, address, company, job title, budget, how did you hear about us, contact method. Whew, I'm exhausted just listing those. And in the 2.5 seconds it takes for your visitors to process that workload, they're already deciding to close the tab. Every extra field you add is another reason for them to leave. If you want better leads, lower the barrier to entry first. Qualification comes second. Now, what does this mean exactly? Don't be overly anxious or give your prospects the creeps. Nobody wants to feel like they just handed over their information to a company that's going to hound them nonstop. Stop treating your lead form like a background check and start treating it like a conversation. On your website, that looks like 2 things. First, micro conversions. Ask for the bare minimum to start the relationship, usually just their name and contact information. Once they hit submit, they are psychologically invested. That means they are far more likely to give you more information after you've provided value. Second, the later strategy. Use your sales process or email automation to qualify them. If a lead is actively looking for exactly what you do, they'll give you their budget and necessary information during the discovery call or the second touch point. The goal is to get your foot in the door. You can't qualify a lead who never signed up in the first place. Second, aggressive CTAs with no real value exchange beyond contact us. Someone lands on your site for the first time and the only option is to schedule a call. That's a big ask for someone who barely knows who you are and isn't ready for a commitment. Here's what the better performing sites did instead. They matched the CTA to the visitor's state of awareness. Instead of forcing a sales call, they gave them a low-pressure, problem-specific next step, which are get a free quote or request a same-day inspection. And this strategy worked because they considered that prospects are still evaluating your credibility. So the goal isn't to force a conversion, it's to remove uncertainty. All right, let's pause for a moment. So far, we've fixed your homepage messaging, trust signals, page structure, and lead capture. 4 mistakes, 4 fixes that are entirely within your control. Now we're heading into the final 2, the part you've been waiting for, and this is where things get really interesting, because everything we've talked about so far is converting traffic you already have. The next fixes are about making sure you get found in the first place, and I need you to stick with me because this part can make or break your marketing efforts. If you've been doing the same thing for the past few years and wondering why results are shrinking, the next section is exactly why. Mistake number 5, content that's built for Google, not customers or AI. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you audited your blog content? Now, I don't mean checked the rankings. I mean actually read it and ask yourself, would this help someone make a decision? Because here's what we found. First, Google's gotten way better at identifying thin content. And second, people aren't searching the same way anymore. They're not typing the top 10 signs you need electrical repair into Google. They're asking ChatGPT or Perplexity, should I repair or replace my electrical panel? And if your content doesn't answer that question directly and clearly, you're basically invisible to Google and AI. Here's how you can fix that. First, stop creating content just to rank. Produce content that answers real questions and problems. Instead of top 10 signs you need HVAC repair, let's rewrite it to when to repair versus replace your AC unit, a cost analysis for Dallas homeowners. You see the difference? You're providing solutions to someone who's actively trying to figure out what to do and has a clear point of view based on local expertise. Second, structure content for AI. Large language models and AI search assistants like ChatGPT, Google AI Mode, and Perplexity don't just pull a list of websites. They're essentially scanning thousands of pages and asking which source explains this topic most clearly and specifically. If your content doesn't directly answer user questions, the AI skips you and recommends your competitor instead. So what should you do? You must ensure your content has clear headers and provides a unique, fresh perspective that directly answers user queries. Let's say you're writing about HVAC maintenance. Don't just regurgitate generic tips. Share what you've actually seen in 1,000 homes in your area. What's worth spending money on? What's a waste? This unique, valuable information is what AI search assistants latch onto. Which brings me to the final and most expensive mistake, but the one with the biggest upside if you fix it right away. And yes, this is the one that I've been teasing since the beginning of this video. Across multiple industries, we're seeing traffic decline because AI is intercepting the decision process. Customers are asking AI who to hire for their specific problem, and AI decides which brands get mentioned and which ones get left out entirely. If you ignore this, you're not just missing traffic, you're missing recommendations. But don't worry, most of your competitors have not figured this out either. Mistake number 6, having no strategy for being found in AI answers. Here's the uncomfortable truth right now. Someone is asking AI for a recommendation in your category and your business isn't even showing up. Not because you're not good or don't have great reviews, but because your website isn't discoverable by AI. Here's what's missing almost every time. First, no content that answers real user questions. We saw plenty of pages that explain what a company does. Very few that answered questions customers actually ask AI, like, who's the best plumber for older homes? Or, which HVAC company should I call if my system keeps breaking? If AI can't find a page that directly answers those questions, it can't recommend you even if you're the best choice. So what do you do instead? Each page should do 3 things very directly. Restate the exact question the customer is asking, give a clear, honest answer, and explain why your approach or experience or specialization makes sense for that scenario. When you do this, 2 things happen. First, customers trust you faster because you sound like an expert, not a salesperson. And second, AI finally understands when to recommend you, not just that you exist. Next, no opinion. This is the silent killer of modern brands. Most businesses we audited are terrified of taking a stand. They want to be everything to everyone, so they use safe, corporate, neutral language. But here's the problem. When every company sounds the same, AI has no reason to choose you. To be recommended, you have to be opinionated. AI looks for unique insights that aren't found in the other 5,000 articles it just scanned. By saying, we don't do it this way, we do it that way because of X, you give the AI a hook. Now, when a user asks, who should I hire for a roof that actually lasts in the humidity, then AI can say, Company A specifically specializes in high humidity durability and has a strict policy against standard shingles. So start writing about the industry secrets or common mistakes your competitors are making. Be the expert who isn't afraid to say, this is the right way to do it and everything else is a waste of your money. Because in the AI age, neutrality is the same as being invisible. Third, pages aren't designed to be cited. Most content is written like a brochure, long paragraphs, vague claims, no clear answers. AI is scanning for confidence and clarity. The businesses that do show up use short, direct answers, structured headlines, clear and direct explanations. In short, they make it easy for AI to say, there's the answer. And finally, there's no structure, telling AI what matters. Almost none of the sites audited had basic infrastructure required to win in 2026. They were missing FAQs that actually answer questions people ask, clear schema markup, and defined sections answering exactly one question at a time. All right, listen closely. That structure isn't just for SEO anymore. In the past, we did this to rank higher on Google. Today, this is how AI understands relevance and intent. If your page jumps between ideas, mixes explanations together, or hides the answer halfway down the page, AI can't confidently pull anything from it. It just sees a wall of text and moves on to a competitor who's made the answer easy to find. Now, I said this at the very beginning of the video, and I want to say it again. Now that you've seen all 6 mistakes, none of these fixes are complicated. They're not revolutionary, but they do require you to see your marketing in the way that customers do, not the way you think it should work. Fix your homepage messaging using the triple threat hero. Move your trust signals above the fold. Structure your pages for decisions with a clear conversion hierarchy. Eliminate lead capture friction. Create content for decision makers and AI, not just Google rankings. And design your entire online presence to be recommended by AI. The companies that fix these 6 fundamentals don't just get more traffic, they get better leads. If you want to see which one of these mistakes your business is making, go to thriveagency.com. We offer a free audit that shows you exactly where you're losing conversions and what to fix first. And if you want to go deeper on AI visibility, I've got another video breaking down exactly how to optimize for AI recommendations. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you've gotten value out of this, hit like, share it with another business owner, leave a comment below, or subscribe to our channel. We're dropping more free tactical marketing content like this every month. No fluff, just what works.